Hey everyone, Vintage Fan Collector here, and today we have a recycled content video. Woohoo! What you're looking at is the fan in my bedroom, which is a 2003 Craftmade MXL, or later known as the American Tradition. This fan has a 188 by 20mm spinner motor and a 16-degree blade pitch. This was marketed as their top dog performer in the traditional fan lineup, and it was kind of designed to be an even better competitor to like the Panama and things like that, because this had the larger blade pitch, which at the time period the Panama had moved from a 14-degree to a 16-degree pitch as well, and they threw a larger motor in there as well to compensate for the bigger blade pitch, which is something that some companies never did. And in doing so, they made a pretty solid performing fan. I would say, still to this day, this is the best performing fan in the house. And I have, a 16-degree blade pitch Panama upstairs in the room directly above this. The Emerson Fresco, the Casablanca Delta 2, a 15-degree blade pitch Emerson Premium, and a 2004 CXL, as well as a awhile, which you can't really compare those two fans. This is much bigger, and then a Lady Delta, which despite its size does move nearly as much air as this. So all that yapping aside, I'm remaking this video because I replaced the replacement capacitor, which went bad again, and I put a 6-inch downrod on this about 5 or 6 months ago just to try it out and see if I liked it. I do still enjoy the 12-inch downrod because it makes the room feel bigger for some reason. I guess because it makes the ceiling seem like it's taller, but I don't mind this either. This is also still a fitting downrod height. I would never put it on a 3-inch downrod on a 9-foot ceiling. It's a bit too high, but this is good. So we'll start off with the light kit here. It's still on the remote. We'll dim the light up. I'm using Casablanca spiral crystal shades from the early to mid 80s, and a Concord 4-arm light kit that I pulled off some footprint vent thing at a habitat a million years ago. And we'll go ahead and turn this thing on low speed, but keep watch for that motor torque. This thing is pretty interesting. So it does have a smidge of torque there when going directly to high speed, which I do like. I think in the last video I filmed of this with the pull chain settings and the 12-inch downrod, it was already slipping by that point, so it didn't really do that. But as I've also stated before, I like the remote capacitor values better for low and medium. This is just more proper. For some reason, Craftmade gave these kind of a quick low speed for my taste, so this is a lot nicer, which is why I've kept it on this Hampton Bay remote, even though I honestly don't like the Hampton Bay remote as much. I don't like that it's high, medium, low, and that sometimes if you press the button too fast, it doesn't catch the signal and doesn't move speeds, even with a good battery. So, little things, but it's Hampton Bay, what do you expect? So this is about Casablanca low speed here for the Delta 2 and the 3-speed Panama 2 and all that stuff. So it's really nice. It's functional. You still get airflow out of this, but it also looks nice, and it's good for the winter time. You don't get too chilly. So we'll go up to medium speed now. And I'm sure you can hear that little initial operational hum when it goes straight to high. I don't know why this specific Craftmade fan does that. All my other Craftmades do not. Not sure if it's because it has additional stuff up in the canopy because of the remote, or if something is loose that I'm not aware of. The light kit glass is tight, so it's not that. But it does go away while it's on high speed. It's just kind of when it's ramping up speed, so it doesn't bug me too much. I just find it kind of odd. If you haven't seen my other videos, I must also note that this is probably the only polished brass version of this fan known to really exist. They did offer them in polished brass for at least 3 or 4 years before discontinuing it. And this is also the only one ever found that can accept 4 or 5 blades, because during this period they were moving away from that capability, which was sad because for a long time Craftmade offered the 4-5 motors with all their fans, and they did it in such a way where it looked like a Casablanca flywheel with 4 or 5 blades instead of the normal spinner motor stuff where they have or the 4 or 5 blade originals too, where they have the screws tapped for the 4 blades kind of towards the inside of the motor away from the 5 blade screws. Craftmade did patent this, which is why nobody else tried it. And the only time people really tried them was when they did a weird spinner motor with a flywheel thing, which I never really understood that. Why not just do the stack motor at that point, you know? You're already making it more complicated than it was. Go ahead and put the stack motor in there. So I've always found that really cool, and that's one of the big reasons I've left this with 4 blades, even though it's also downstairs. I know some people don't like the gap in the skirted blade arms with 4 blades, which is probably part of why they didn't advertise this as being a 4-5 blade fan, even though it was capable of doing so for a couple of years. Here's high speed, by the way. But nonetheless, I don't mind it. It also is hardly ever turned off, so I don't really see the gap anyways. It doesn't bug me because I don't turn my fan off. Really ever. I leave them on when I'm not home because they don't use enough energy to worry about turning them on and off and on and off every time you leave the room. It keeps your room comfortable when you leave your fan circulating the air, even if you're not in the room. I know a lot of people, especially those energy experts or whatever, energy saving experts, have said, well, the fan's only as good of a use when you're in... Sorry, let me not stumble over my own words there. Let me think, I'm trying to remember how they said it. Oh yeah. It's only worth having on when you're in the room because it's a wind chill effect. That's partially true, but also not fully true, because these still circulate air around the room, so your air conditioning is still having to work harder if there's nothing helping the room. Ah, dang it. You can tell I haven't done these videos very much because I'm over here not even sure what I'm trying to talk about. The air conditioner works better when it's being helped by a fan pushing the air around the room. It cools it faster. Yes, the actual wind chill effect is only there when you're in the room, but that doesn't mean that it's not still helping the room be cooled or heated faster when you leave the fan on, even if you're not in there. Plus, who wants to walk into a room with stale air anyways? So, because of that, I never turn my fans off. They're always on unless the power's out, or I'm going to clean them. Or I'm making a video of them like this. Or when my buddy Chance comes over because he likes to watch the fan spin down. Yes, I have at least, I guess probably 5 or 6 local fan collector friends, maybe more. I kind of don't even keep track anymore. But, yeah, he's that Texan collector on YouTube. And, anyways, I'm very pleased with this, now that it's going 210 RPM on high again, and moving the most air in the house out of all the fans. I throw this up against originals, and this does indeed move a little bit more air, if not the same. I would say more because the blade pitch is higher. And the nice thing about these versus, say, a Casablanca with a 14-degree pitch, and a Craftmade with 14-degree pitch for that matter, is that this has a strong outward and immediate downward airflow. A lot of fans seem to either push air out in a wide kind of array and not very much below. Like when you're standing directly below them, it's not as strong of a wind as if you're a little bit further out from the blades. But these and also originals are both very strong in both fronts. So when you stand below them, you feel a ton of air velocity, but when you stand away from them, you still feel a ton of air velocity coming off the blade. So it's better airflow coverage. And I've always enjoyed that about this fan. And also the 16-degree blade pitch Casos do the same thing. And I think, pretty sure that's what my premium in the kitchen does too, which has a 15-degree pitch. So that's the nice sweet spot, like 15 or 16 degrees and fairly wide blades, which this has the same width of blades as Casablanca does and Hunter. It's just that the blade screw pattern is a little different. These will fit Casablanca blade arms on the 2 top screws, but the bottom screw is a little misaligned. It won't fit. So you can screw them in, but only 2 out of the 3 will be secured, which is fine. That's not really that big of a deal. Especially because as the fan is on, the blades tend to lift upwards a little bit, so there's not as much strain. Pressure-wise, it's fine, but when it's sitting, it could, over time, get warped in that one spot by the screws. So anyways, this thing is running great again, and I'm probably going to put this up in the next place I live in, and if I do, I might throw it with 5 blades, because I am kind of curious to see how the look changes, because this looks kind of like an older fan without the 5 blades, since it's got pretzel arms too, which I really like. But I'm curious to see what this is like with 5 blades. I think in the next place, depending on the room I put it in, I will probably have this with 5 blades if I do install it. I would like to, because this is a unique fan, and it moves a ton of air, and is pretty quiet while doing so. I might change the blades from rosewood to something else. I've got a couple of different finishes I would like to try on this fan. It came with white blades, but with this room, I didn't think that would look good at all. And honestly, rosewood isn't that much of a match for my furniture, but I like the way it looks, when the light's on especially. Because, I mean, who wouldn't love that? It's just, high gloss rosewood is just amazing. But yeah, we'll see what the future holds. I'm moving in about a month or so. Maybe a little less, maybe a little more, depending on how the house search goes. But I'm hoping we're going to be living in a much simpler house that's single story. I'm really tired of the 2-story stuff here. It's not fun. I mean, it is cool, but until you see the electric bill come in the mail and you're like, wow, this sucks. I mean, having an 18.5-foot ceiling in the living room and the entryway is kind of ridiculous. I don't like how tall the ceilings are in this house. I don't really even like 9-foot ceilings. This is a bit much for me too. I've always had 8-foot ceilings, and I kind of like that better. So I'm definitely looking forward to being back, hopefully in a more simple sort of house, like what I've been used to living in. So yeah, we'll see. But this is really all I have for this video. I just wanted to get a kind of update / remake video, because the last one I filmed, the capacitor wasn't doing so great, and maybe I'll do a factory settings video and take the old one down. I don't know. Like I said in my Delta 2 video that I uploaded yesterday and recorded yesterday, I'm just sort of done with consistent YouTube videos and doing all this stuff, so I'm just going to live my life, and if I decide to upload videos, then cool. You guys get to see some more of my fan collection. If not, I'm just living life, and I'll probably still be posting pictures of fans on Facebook and on my Instagram, although I haven't logged into that account in a while, the Instagram that is. I'll try to keep it updated somewhat, but the video recording, this is like my 3rd or 4th take. Since I like talking because there's a lot of noise that happens in the house, and I've never enjoyed the kind of YouTube videos where it's just a silent fan video and then somebody's just doing this. the entire time. So to avoid that, because, you know, sometimes when I'm filming I might be feeling a little sniffly or stuffed up or whatever, I just would rather talk and avoid that whole Darth Vader thing with the fan videos. So, and also it beats typing a big old long description about, oh, this fan is blah blah blah, made in blah blah blah, you know. Why do that? I can just talk about it, and if you want to listen, you can. If you don't, I don't really care. I mean, it's just YouTube. So, that being said, I will see y'all later. Maybe, who knows. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see. Bye.